And I'll welcome everybody to the special meeting of the City of Mercedes this August 19th, 6:30 PM. And I will now call this meeting to order. Next, I will establish a quorum. I have Dr. Jacob Howell, I have Commissioner Garcia, I have Commissioner Martinez, also Dr. Saldana is here in the office. I'm sure he'll show up here in a little bit. At this time, we have a quorum for the invocation. Commissioner Martinez, if you wouldn't mind, sir.
Sure. Please rise. Remove your hats, please. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, Lord. We give you the honor and you the glory, Father. We pray that you be here with us today, Father, and that you lead us in our decisions that we make, Father. We present everything before you, Father God. We ask that you be our guidance today. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Dr. Howell, if you wouldn't mind leading us in the pledge, sir?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic
for it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. Moving on to open forum, I believe we have one person signed up, Ms. Diana Garza.
Good evening
Good evening,
to
ma'am.
all of you up there sitting on borrowed seats. I thank you for all that you do, serving on those seats and, volunteering to do the work that you do. So however, I have a huge concern, and I'm going to try to walk you through that timeline of what transpired. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to shed light on a police report having to do with a fire at my property that I strongly believe was fabricated and falsified. Okay, so the fire took place at my vacant rental property on the north side of town on June the 5th, 2024. So on Saturday, July 25th, I'm inside the home and I'm looking around and telling my carpenter what else needs to be done when I look outside and I see my cedar fence burn. And I'm like, what happened here? I wasn't informed. I didn't know. So that was on Saturday, July 27th. So on Monday, July 29th, I spoke to the fire chief and I come in, the fire chief and Mr. Ruben, I don't know his last name, the marshal. And I asked him about that fire. So I said, okay, I need the report, but they were very good in meeting me at my property so that they could address any concerns, right? That was on Monday, the 29th. So I asked the fire chief, I want a report, a fire report, and I want a police report. So very promptly, he gave me a a fire report, right? So I took that and there was no police report. So I called the city secretary on that Monday when I learned there was no police report, and she said there's no police report, right? I immediately asked to speak to the manager so that he could answer questions for me on why there was no police report. So he's very busy, man, I get it. So my appointment was for August 5th, 2024. On a Monday, I meet with him and I asked him, I need a police report on a fire that took place at my property. He's like, hold on, let me call the fire chief and let me call the police chief. So they come in and we're sitting there. And really what I got was that police do not respond to fires unless there's a request. So there was no police report. So I made it clear that home, I evicted a tenant almost a year ago. I had to take him to Judge Science to evict him. He didn't want to leave. So I had a strong suspicion of a suspect and I wanted it documented. At first I had told him, you know what, I want an investigation. But after speaking to my husband, he's like, nothing's gonna get done. So forget about the investigation. That was on June the 5th, right? They have to bring a canine in to, I don't know, they have to dig, right? Because it was long. It was since June the 5th. So long story short, so I said, nobody contacted me. The manager said, well, the neighbors, they didn't contact you. So I didn't know that the neighbors were to contact me, right, when there's a fire.
Ms. Garza, you're out of time. It's 3 minutes.
I was told when I called earlier that I had 5.
Is that a
By
5
the,
minute or 3 minutes?
by the secretary, or whomever answered the phone,
Councilman, how much time are we on right now?
I was told 5.
It's 3 minutes. It's in the sign-up paper as well, but I tell you what, go ahead and finish.
Yeah, because I did not, I'm going by, okay. All right, so let me hurry. So long story short, you know what? No courtesy to inform me, right? It's the neighbor's responsibility. Then I got a report by after I met with the manager, I get a report and it didn't match the times on the PD call report. The times were off. The date was July 5th, Sunday. They couldn't even look up what July 5th was on a Friday. I remember I was in Lake Tahoe. So, you know what? That was clearly a falsified report after I was told there was no report. We cannot have this. You know, and it said also that it was behind in the alley. It was not in the alley. The cedar fence, it separates my home from another home. So it was not in the alley. The times were way off by 2-3 hours. It said, I think 1700, right? And the official report said 1400. So that we cannot have falsified. We deserve better. We cannot have fabricated, falsified reports. Por favor. And also the minutes, another agenda item, it says coming soon. There has been no minutes posted for the whole entire year for 2024. And in looking, there hasn't been any since August, July 18, 2023. From August 2022 to July 18, there has been no minutes. So I don't know what coming soon means. So I don't know if y'all are going to be posting minutes or not, but we need to be transparent. Thank you.
Thank you,
Have
Ms.
an
Garza.
amazing evening, and I'll be waiting for a report that's not falsified and fabricated.
Thank you, Ms. Garza. Moving on to item number 6A, presentation by Purdue Brandon Fielder Collins and Mott LLP, collection report October 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2024.
Good evening, Mayor, Mr. Perez, honorable members of the commission. My name is Hiram Gutierrez. I'm a partner with Purdue Brandon Fielder Collins and Mott. I'm here to present to you with the first 9 months of your fiscal collections for delinquent tax collections and your fine and fee collections. That being the period of October 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. First, I'm starting with your delinquent tax report. The delinquent tax collection program for the city of Mercedes is designed with an emphasis on working with your taxpayers to resolve their delinquent tax problem. To that end, we have an array of services that we provide pre-litigation, such as our call center. During this period, we've made over 1,200 contacts with your taxpayers. We've sent over 900 letters to your delinquent taxpayers. And we've updated addresses on over 260 accounts. One other thing that we try to do is, if we can't get a hold of your taxpayer through phone calls or letters, we'll conduct field inspections. We'll go out and visit. If it's a property, we'll go look at the property, see if there's somebody there. Or if it's a business that's delinquent, then we'll go visit the business. During this period, we've done 142 field inspections. Once we contact your taxpayers, they're not always able to pay all their taxes in full. So when that happens, we'll enter into payment agreements with them, sometimes informal, sometimes formal payment agreements. During this period, we've entered into 16 formal payment agreements involving over $26,000 in base tax owed to the city of Mercedes. And unfortunately, when all of our other efforts don't have any success in getting the collections in, we do proceed to litigation, always as a last recourse. During this period, we've filed 64 original petitions or interventions involving over $248,000 in base tax owed to the city of Mercedes. One of the things that we do is on business personal property accounts, because those accounts, businesses can close, property gets moved out of your city or out of the county for that matter. The other thing that we have is a tax warrant. Basically, we'll go apply for a tax warrant, and if the court gives it to us, we go give it to a constable or a deputy, and they conduct the warrant. They go visit the business and try to collect the taxes for you. During this period, we've done one tax warrant involving over $6,400 in base tax owed to the city of Mercedes. We also represent you in bankruptcy court. During this period, we've filed 6 claims in bankruptcy court involving over $11,000 owed to the city of Mercedes. Even after we file a suit and we take a judgment, we still try to work with your taxpayers. They can still try to enter into a payment agreement or pay their taxes in full. But unfortunately, when that doesn't occur, we do proceed to tax sale. During this period, we've put 5 properties up for tax sale. 3 of those properties were sold, bringing over 60. I'm having a little trouble seeing that far, so let me look at this. Bringing over $55,000 in base tax owed to the city of Mercedes. And the 2 other properties were pulled from the tax sale. We were able to enter into payment agreements that involved over $6,500 owed to the city of Mercedes. Of course, all of these efforts are geared to one goal, and that is to collect your delinquent taxes. And this here shows your delinquent base tax collected during this period. Over $188,000 in base tax, and an additional $99,000 in penalties and interest for a grand total of over $287,000 owed to the city of Mercedes. This graph here shows a comparison between the last year, same period, the same 9 months versus these 9 months. And as you can see, collections have gone up. In dollars, it's a 32% increase in dollars collected as compared to the same period last year. Now that concludes the delinquent tax collection report. If you have any questions on that, I'd be happy to answer any questions before I go into the other.
I have one.
Go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, one,
You
go
go
ahead.
first.
I have 3.
Okay. Well, let's get yours out of the way, Commissioner House.
Go ahead.
Repetitive, it's just more for transparency and for the community just to hear again or just to kind of narrow in on. So, 1, are we giving and allowing opportunity for our residents to pay these taxes?
Absolutely, we work very hard to try to enter some sort of payment agreement, avoid litigation at all possible. And as you know, if it's a homestead and the taxpayer is either elderly, and by that I mean 65 or over, or disabled, they can apply to get a deferral. And in fact, many of your taxpayers do qualify and do in fact have deferrals on their property.
So our residents are being allowed to, and given opportunity to pay these taxes. Again, some of these are repetitive, but
Yeah.
just more to kind of narrow in. 2, total so far for tax collections, where are we at right now?
Well, in dollars, we're roughly $45,973 in base tax over the same period last year. As a percentage of the delinquent tax roll, it's roughly just under 3% more of the delinquent tax roll has been collected during this 9 months as compared to last year.
Yeah, that was my next question. Compared last year's
Yeah.
same time, you're saying we're up 3%?
3% as a percentage of the delinquent tax roll. In dollars, we've actually collected over 32% more than the same period last year.
Well, I appreciate you answering questions, and you guys do a fantastic job, and also you helping out with many things with the community as well, your involvement.
Yeah.
Thank you guys as well.
Thank you, Dr. Hall. Appreciate it.
Dr. Saldana, go ahead, sir.
Well, these are more clarifying just to make sure that I understand, but the delinquent taxes are $986,700 based on what I see here, right? So that's the amount owed to the city that has not been paid.
That's correct.
And then you all collected $287,826, and so if I do the math on that, that's about 29%. So is that about right?
The 287,000 that you mentioned, that includes penalties and interest.
Okay,
When we talk about the delinquent tax roll, we just talk about base tax.
right.
So if you look at that
So
blue portion, 188,000.
the blue portion's what
Yeah.
you should put in the math.
That's the one that goes into the math.
Okay.
And that puts you right under 20% for the first 9 months of the fiscal year.
And And there was another question I had, but I can't think of it now.
Yeah.
You said you had one.
Yeah. Well, when you started asking, I got motivated.
Yeah.
So but I think that was it. I just wanted to
Challenges,
kind of get
yeah.
I just wanted to get a sense of what is owed and what's been
Yeah.
collected.
So I've got a question. So I'm interested in the number of delinquents. How does that look compared to the previous year? Are the number of delinquents going up or staying the same? Or, I mean, I'm talking the total delinquent, not the dollar amount, number of delinquents.
You've been staying right under $1 million, $980,000. We've been able to collect enough so that your delinquent tax roll has not been growing. It's just hasn't been growing. So we've kept it under $1 million. Hope that answers the question. And I can give you exact.
Can we take them all to court and collect it tomorrow?
Well, well, as
That's
I
$1
mentioned,
million we
yeah.
could use.
As I mentioned, Mr. Pettis, many of your taxpayers are entitled to
Yes.
deferrals. And just if you're curious, in deferrals, you roughly have about $365,000
Out
in
of the
base
million.
tax. So that's roughly 35% of that 900 and some $1,000 is in deferrals. By law, we can't touch them. If they pay, they pay. If they don't pay, as long as they're entitled to the deferral, we can't touch it.
So going to the ones that are outside of the deferrals, the ones that are subject to collections,
Yes, sir.
how old would you say are the oldest accounts that have been sitting in the tax roll as delinquent?
That the ones that you can't touch?
Yes.
I would have to look at an aging report, but typically if they're the other thing that I do want to mention, there's also some business personal property accounts that businesses that are gone, closed.
Right.
They're still on the roll. You can't remove them off the roll until after 10 years.
Okay.
So they're there, they're uncollectible. But typically, I mean, if they're delinquent and they don't have a deferral, 3-4 years, and they're going to be in litigation.
And that's if they don't make like a
Arrange-
partial payment.
Right,
or
right.
that always pushes it one more.
Right, yeah.
Because I
And-
know there's people who make a business out of that. They let
Yeah,
it sit, let
yeah.
it sit, lo van a dar 10%. And
Yeah, and that's one of the things that happens. They'll enter into a payment agreement, they'll make a few payments, they'll fall off the payment agreement, so we'll start the whole process again.
I remembered my second question, Mr. Mayor. So what you collected is based on both the pre-litigation agreements, the petitions, the tax warrants, the bankruptcy, all of that
All of it
together.
Right.
And, well, there's the second part of that question.
Yeah.
What percentage of those delinquent accounts are under the protections of a deferral based on
33?
35%.
35?
35%.
So the other 65% are the ones that are in
Yeah.
play. And as a and when you say 35%, is that 35% of accounts, I assume, or is that 35% of the value? Is there a difference between
The dollar amount.
the dollar
dollar
amount? Okay.
So there's
okay.
980, about 360 is in deferral.
Is in deferral. So we
Yeah,
can't touch
yeah.
that no matter what we
Yeah.
do.
And there's also businesses that are defunct that are also untouchable.
Okay.
So there's
Yeah.
another batch of those. And
Under-
then from there, it's whatever's left over.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
So 3 years is kind of the natural process. Is that pretty
Well-
much by the time it starts to get really nasty where they're going to start losing their property?
Two ways we look at the delinquent tax roll. Obviously dollar amount. If there's a big dollar amount that's owed, that's gonna go on the radar right away. But you also have to look at number of years. So we look at the number of years and the dollar delinquency, because some accounts are so small that if you're just looking at dollar amounts, they're gonna go under the radar and no one's gonna pay attention. So we always look at number of years delinquent, also dollar amount as well. And you do have some large accounts that have been delinquent for quite a while, that have been in litigation for quite a while of years.
So you may not know this off the top of your head, so I don't know if you can send it to Albert later, but I just want to know how many accounts that is. The ones that are not deferrable, non-business defunct, the ones you can actually go after. How many of them are there? And I don't need addresses, just how many. And then how many are in the other? Well, was that something y'all
Yeah,
could do
we
for
can
us?
do that, sure,
Okay.
absolutely.
I think that gives us an idea
Yeah.
because I think the other thing is there's some accounts out there that are $300 or $400, right? I would imagine.
Right, yes, absolutely. And they might be base tax it might be little money, because maybe their
the
tax bill
penalty.
per year is $100, $200, but they've been delinquent for so many years that they have penalties and interest, a lot of penalties and interest that are owed. So that's why it's important to look at not just a dollar amount that's owed, but also number of years owed.
And the write-off is, when they become declared totally uncollectible as 10 years?
On business personal property, the statute of limitations is 4 years, but they cannot be written off from the tax roll until after 10 years.
Okay.
On real estate, it's 20 years.
Okay. All right, anybody else? Thank you for taking those questions.
Yes.
On to the next.
I do have the other report, that's the fine and fee collections, your municipal fine and fees for the same period, October 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. We also have a array of services that we provide there, such as our call center. During this period, we've conducted we made over 1,400 contacts with your delinquent taxpayers. Oh, yeah, sorry. We've also mailed over 4,300 letters, and we've updated addresses on 340 accounts. And the result, of course, of all that is collections. Our total cash collected was over $34,258, and total cases resolved. In other words, these cases were dismissed, or the judge did an alternative resolution of that case, for a grand total of $47,478. The next graph there, slide there shows your top 10 zip codes that owe fine and fees to the city of Mercedes. And as you might imagine, city of Mercedes comes in first, and then most of the delinquencies are within Hidalgo County. Of course, if you look at the next slide, it shows that you have delinquencies, fine and fee delinquencies all throughout the whole country, including Canada. So we're trying to collect those fine and fees, not only here in Hidalgo County, but throughout the whole country, Canada and Mexico.
And so these are like citations or something, or like
Correct.
tickets that the officers
Tick-
gave,
Uh,
and they just never paid.
Right, an officer gave out a ticket, they didn't pay it, so now it's been turned over to us.
Miranda, Canada.
And I don't,
Right.
so, and I don't say this in a finger pointing way. Well, I guess what I'm trying to ask, is there a way to identify why I mean, at the end of the day, either they come pay or they don't. And well, let me start with this. How far back can we go on these? It's only 2 years, right?
There's actually no statute of limitation on these cases.
Okay, once they file for a warrant.
Yeah, of course, once,
Yeah, they'll
yeah,
dismiss
as
them.
older they get stale, and they get
Yeah,
very
there's
hard
no
to
offer
collect.
anymore.
But
yeah.
you'll be surprised. I mean, a letter will go out there, and you'll have somebody 15, 20 years with a 15, 20-year-old ticket, and they'll pay it. They'll send the money.
So, I guess I guess the call would have to be to Wesco and to them to find out why bigger cities, because Wesco right below us has 1/4 of the amount that we do. So I don't know if they're just more aggressively,
Mayor, actually, that means
Those are
there's
residents.
there's somebody that lives in that zip code that owes a fine and fee
oh,
to
okay,
you.
now you scared me. I misunderstood it. All right, thanks.
Yeah.
So right next to us, there's 460 people sitting there that owe us $200,000.
Let's go pick them up.
Right. Yeah, right.
Where's the chief? I can pay for a position just for
New Gators,
warrants,
we can go in
man.
the Gators.
Start a warrant division.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I didn't
Slide
understand that.
finally went on. So we've got 46 people that owe us $20,411 from 78516 area code,
Yes,
or zip code rather.
yes.
We have 1,800 people.
I got you. Okay.
And in Mercedes, there's 1,800.
How's that even possible?
So we're sending letters
And it's not
to
1,800
I
people,
think-
it's 1,800 citations.
1,800 citations.
saw that
That
maybe
means
one
one
of
of them could have 4 tickets.
Don't be
Right.
selling me out, man.
Yeah.
Shit. Don't be selling me out.
You can run everybody on here first.
Let's start lining
Then,
them up. Let's go.
Could
That's why I'm
some of
looking through his
those
wallet somehow.
could some of those be dog citations as well?
Yeah, possible.
Maybe.
All right.
Possible.
Okay,
be
so
in
we
there.
need to.
And
Somewhere.
the last slide here shows since 2016, how much has been collected in dollars. $295,000 collected, 278 cases resolved. through some alternative means for a grand total of $574,000 that were owed to the city of Mercedes.
So people are paying the fines with the phone calls and the letters. That's
Phone
that's
calls
what we're
and
talking about.
letters, yes.
And then the rest of them, you say alternative means, does that involve dark alleys and
Missiles
baseball
and
bats or what?
I hope not, but I think it's the judge that dismisses the case for some reason. One other thing that we do is we send reports letting them know people are serving time, so they can give them time served. Or if they're deceased, you can go ahead and remove that from the
I see.
case. Now,
Or
whether
if it's too
whether the court
old.
actually
So-
did that or not, I don't know.
And if the officer's no longer with us, there's all kinds of reasons that they
yeah.
dismiss. it.
What so cases resolved is money collected or money
No, dismiss.
No.
dismissed? I mean, that's money
Dismissed.
lost.
Yeah, for some
From-
reason it was
For
dismissed.
whatever reason, it's not collectible.
Yeah, right. That the court dismissed the case for some reason.
1,800
Okay,
just
I
seems
got you.
really
Okay, okay.
bad, man.
All right. This is,
Any other questions?
I'll
Thank you.
chase the guy down in
There you go.
Winnipeg.
Obviously, the numbers are good, and we appreciate everything you guys are doing.
Mayor.
And you know, hopefully, just keep on doing what you're doing. Obviously, it looks like to me like those letters and calls are working out, and maybe what we need to do. And I say this in all seriousness because I know in the past, not under the current administration, but in the past, I know that there was times where people just didn't want to pick up warrants and stuff like that, and that's unfair to everybody because if somebody gets pulled over, sometimes they forget. And you know they don't even know they have a warrant. They forget there's one out there, or somebody told them, "Hey, don't worry about it," and it's still there, right?
Yeah. A lot of people, that's what it is. I mean,
Yeah.
they forgot.
I found out
Apparently
that
forgot.
people would actually go and say, "Hey, man, for $50, I'll fix your ticket," and they'll drop one of our names at the sheriff's office when they can't do that, and they come and say that, and they're out there telling people that stuff, you know, and they get arrested for it. So. Yeah, so anyway, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Keep doing what y'all are doing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Have a good evening.
I'm gonna applaud for you.
There you go.
Yes, thank you all. Appreciate it.
I'm gonna name drop you, Mayor, if I got one of those citations.
That last one got arrested.
All right, well,
Class B, Class B. Item B, presentation of the draft budget for GCM for fiscal year 2024, 2025.
look at me, man.
Hi, good evening. Does everyone have a copy of our draft budget so we could review it together?
I got it right here,
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. So,
along with the red and the
yeah,
yellow,
so everything
everything.
in red is, it's our draft budget. So everything in red is a change from this
Okay.
fiscal year.
And that's good.
So if you look at the sales tax collected, the revenue, that's going to be approximately a 3% increase. We're projecting that because that's what the outlet mall is projecting that. If you go down, you'll see some miscellaneous income for a total of over 1 million. So our budget is about
Okay,
three.
where are you, Melissa? Because I'm on the first.
The sources of a cash
Total miscellaneous.
and miscellaneous, yeah.
Okay,
Total
okay.
miscellaneous. The city
Oh,
does
page 19.
participate with the
Page
EDC.
19. Okay, gotcha. I'm with you now.
The city does participate on 2 items. That's the marketing. So we share a marketing person collectively with the chamber. So that's their portion. And they do participate in the VTX loan payment.
What's that VATX about?
That's Valley, that's on some Valley Telephone
Right,
Company.
right. But
We took out a 0 interest loan to
okay, that's loan.
purchase,
Okay,
to purchase
okay,
the
gotcha.
Mercedes Light Industrial Park, all that property
Okay, gotcha.
by the safe road. Any questions on that first page, how we get our money? No? We turn to the next page is how we spent. So do you want me to go over everything in red?
Well, I only see yellow.
No, it's the next one.
Oh, we're past the.
21, ain't it?
We're on page 21 then.
I just have this.
22.
Okay.
Yeah, 22.
Okay, okay.
Development Corporation, use of cash.
Yes, uses of cash. We primarily use our cash for other services. So if we go down, we are the chamber is increasing our rent because we will be making improvements to the building next fiscal year. Well, the chamber will. So our rent is going up. You'll-
Chambers
the-
jacking up your rent. Huh?
Yeah, they're a landlord. Mhm.
All right.
Man,
Under the chamber line item, we did pick up Little Nashville, so the EDC will be paying for that. I know that the city used to pay for that in the past, but we will be absorbing that cost from now on. And that will not be an annual event. It'll be during like the fall and winter months. If we go to downtown development, that's our grant program. Right now, it's a signage improvement grant where people could apply within a designated area for a free sign. We are still working on that program. I'm not too sure if the program will change entirely or we will expand our designated area for the signage grant. So we're still working on that. I know you had mentioned a facade program, so we're going to discuss that on Wednesday. And
Just
see
for
what
the
board wants to
clarity
do.
of the commission, we used to have a facade program. And the difficulty in it is that the majority of the businesses in the targeted area were rented. And so I know when I was on the EDC, we were targeting the people that were renting to go talk to their people. And so, the thought process now is that maybe we can talk to the owners of those buildings and see if they can, try to improve some of those areas. And I believe it's all of Texas, right? From 6, that's also targeted, right? A
Yes.
cer-
The
It's like
signage
from
program right now is from 6 to the frontage.
6 to frontage, and then part of Business 83 or only Texas?
Only Texas. So if the board were to continue with the signage program, they would probably expand it to cover Business 83.
Yeah, I would, of course, the board needs to vote on it, and I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but I think Business 83 is probably our main corridor for the locals, right? So hopefully we could do some of that. And I think that'll help also with, because I think y'all are trying, what you're talking about, for anybody that doesn't know, the program is to try and have some kind of base model of signage, right? Not just,
illuminated,
yeah, a
nice,
certain
big.
kind, yes. So I think that by doing that, it'll help us to beautify the area as well. So, and that's where the facade came into play as well. So anyway, I appreciate you guys taking that to the meeting.
I wanted to, I know the sign, that's good for advertising and visibility, and it's good for the aesthetics of the main street. And I mentioned it briefly at the meeting that we had, but at some point, I'd like to see what the potential would be for, I was mentioning some kind of a cost share program possibly between EDC and interested local businesses to develop advertising messages. I know the chamber does the member spotlight and things like that, and y'all have done profiles on certain businesses that have been highlighted in mass media. But if a given business at their own initiative, I guess, wanted to develop some kind of an ad campaign, a video or an ad of their own kind that they could use on social media, that, my thought is that the EDC could provide some kind of
Assistance.
yeah, where you could identify one or more people that could work with them to develop something like that, where they don't have the expertise for that, and then they could take that and they could just use it, and it would have a shelf life of maybe a year or two or something like that until they want to do it again.
And maybe we can
Actually,
put
we
our
already
own.
did that.
Okay.
You already
So
did
this
that.
year we worked with, do you remember Jake Berry? Yes, so he already finished the campaign. We just haven't released those social media videos,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's very targeted. It's just for our downtown businesses. So if you're off the expressway.
How many businesses does that include?
Not that many, 15, but
15,
they each took
okay.
a long time. They're 30 to a minute videos that are active, lively. They showcase
Good.
food, services, just whatever merchants are downtown. We just have not released them, and we're getting to roll them out.
So I think what he was talking, that's what I was gonna explain, but I'm glad you did. I think what it is like, those people were the ones that again agreed to it, right? But if somebody opens up a new business, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think what we're talking here, Doc, is maybe we can help them with either expertise or financially, not pay for it all, but let them have some skin in the game as well, and that would allow us to put our city emblem and make sure that the video has a certain kind of quality, and at the same time we're helping them, so they help us, we help them. Is that kind of
Yeah, that was the thought anyway.
Well, we do have another program where we have a co-op commercial. I don't know if anyone's seen it. It's on Channel
Yes,
5.
yes.
We're looking to revamp that program, but it is a co-op program. We pay a part of it, and each small business pays into the program directly to
That's the
general
one,
fund.
but we didn't have a lot of,
Participation
participations, what happened.
Yeah.
that's why I'm saying if we put it in as a package to somebody, let's say somebody's opening up a new business and we help them out and the Channel 5 thing, I think scares them, right? But even if we just help them with a commercial they can put on Facebook to start off with, right? Let's say, I don't think that would cost them a lot, but we'd give them, like he said, give them an actual product on, well, I was gonna date myself with a CD, but whatever we do nowadays. Right.
They're
You-
coming back.
Oh, they're coming back just smaller?
The cassette.
cassette tape.
Cassette. So, is that we give them a product that says, here, you can
Something.
put this up on, or
someone
we'll
with
help you
a-
load it, stuff like that. Anyway, that's a good food for thought there. So
Thank
go
you for
ahead.
that feedback. The janitorial and remain the same, the loan fees, that kind of just moves around with how many loans we close through our general fund. We are still a micro lender. So not only do we lend through our USDA accounts, we also lend through our general fund. Marketing and promotion, that changed somewhat. We're continuing with our geofencing, so that is kind of geofencing an area for our target audience. During the holidays, we geofence the International Bridge for our Mexican nationals to come shopping at the outlet mall. We also geofence for a lot of the city events. We're going to continue that. And we geofence at trade shows. So it's really helped us identify and target our audience. The murals, this is something the marketing committee has discussed for a while. We will be funding it this year. We're gonna put art displays around the city with businesses that allow us to put artwork on their buildings. So that'll be something new, probably coming during the spring.
What does it take more or less for one building?
See, like it depends. We've gotten cost estimates from professional artists of like $5,000, but also we may do a competition element to see what art's out there. The thing is, we do need to buy quality paint. Even if it's a competition and an artist comes and does his work for free, we do need quality materials. So
McCallan did a great job painting those horrific looking irrigation standpipes, and they look really nice.
There's actually somebody out there from Mercedes painting some of them.
Yeah.
and I think Albert had mentioned that some communities are doing wraps on
Just
the,
on the wrap.
Yeah.
so.
Great idea.
Yeah, the guy that painted the tiger at the entrance of what's the name of that subdivision? off
Tiger
of 10th
Crossing.
Street?
Tiger Crossing.
Tiger Crossing. He said, hey, anytime you need me, I'm available. I think he's an art teacher or something over there in Elsa of all places.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so,
Wow.
So we'll be
Mr.
starting that.
Oberthaler?
was it
Oberthaler?
Overthaler? Yeah.
Yeah, well, he actually was our art teacher here with the Mercedes ISD.
That's what he told me.
Yeah, so, and if you actually go in where the auditoriums that some of the students' artworks are there, they're fantastic artworks.
Yeah, he said anytime we were doing something like that to give him a call, and he said he charged like very little, so maybe he's somebody else we can reach out to. Awesome, good job, thank you. We got influencers?
Influencers.
Awesome.
We're gonna try it out for
I thought
Texas
that's what I
Street
did.
Festival. You're our number one influencer. So we're gonna try it out during Texas Street Festival, see what we get back, look at the analytics. But the board does believe that we need to be out there in an authentic way, and an influencer is something different. We could maybe reach a different audience with that, within the RGV.
Yeah, time to get with the program, huh?
Mhm.
Good deal.
We're also going to update our marketing collateral. So that would be like the pens, mouse pads, just giveaway stuff. Folders. Our meetings, we have been hosting quite a bit of meetings this fiscal year. So we're going to continue hosting those. This also includes anytime we sponsor lunch for certifications, workshops, and things of that nature.
I think I wanted to, and I don't think it was yours. It may have been the chamber, but we have a lot of different. Maybe when y'all are talking about it over there, we have a lot of different places where we can host things. We had that Mexican American Hispanic chamber, whatever
yes.
it was,
That's
and I mean it was like super tight, right? And I don't know if we did that because of cost or just somebody offered or,
A chamber
and I
member
love that
al-
venue, but
The chamber member, the point is to like host at a business in Mercedes. So that chamber member, La Quinta wanted to host.
oh.
It's to showcase a business. So the next mixer, well, it's going to be out of town because we're taking turns, right? But the next one in Mercedes is going to be at a Mercedes-based business.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I was just saying that was super,
Yeah,
super,
that-
super tight,
yeah, I know what room you're
which is a good problem to have, I'm sure, for the business that wanted to host it. So
in.
go ahead.
Membership and subs, that includes our membership and subscriptions to TEDC, IEDC, all of the networking committees that we're a part of, RGB partnership, just a lot of different things. The outlet mall rebate will be actually paying it off early, probably at the end of 2025. That'll be our last payment.
That's great.
Good job.
And it is reflective of sales tax revenue generated by the outlet mall, so that, as the outlet mall does well,
So does the payment.
so do the payment goes up. So we're projecting that number. If you go down to projects, we allocated a lot of money for projects. There are 2 projects listed there, one of which is requiring a substantial investment, and then one that does not. So the 3rd Street project, that would be including electrical on 3rd Street, like where Formasios is at. We want to turn that into like an entertainment district of sorts, have some wine outside, string lights, live band, and have people just walking around maybe on a
Kind of like what Sugarland does.
Friday, Saturday night. So we're going to be putting the utilities in for that.
When will that be going down? Because I know Fred's been talking about that for a while.
Since that investment isn't too much, we're going to probably start that electrical work
If it's here, it's gonna
in
happen,
October.
right?
Yeah.
So just in time during the fall.
I would say like fall into the
That's cool.
spring, probably. I'm not too sure about summer.
No, I mean, I think the fall would be nice little touch.
So, as we found out with some other lights that we have in downtown, make sure there's a maintenance amount per year
I
there,
know,
because
yeah.
we have some lights that haven't worked for a while. They look great, they just don't have no lights in them. Awesome, that's good, good stuff.
The sponsorships, they remain about the same. We have increased our sponsorship to the livestock show.
Yeah, all right.
We've also increased our sponsorship to the Aurora House. The
What
Fall
was
Fest,
the livestock show sponsorship
They-
amount?
They were at 5,000, now we're at
5,000.
7, so it's not
Okay.
too significant, but it is an increase. And should Fall Fest happen, we will participate in that. Sometimes the livestock show drops that event, but sometimes they don't, so we will sponsor that. The gala, we're just gonna do that as well in December.
Which one?
Telephones,
Let's get one.
we changed our contractor, so that's why there's a decrease.
Have something else.
The Texas Leverage Fund, we will
That's the one where everybody goes.
be finished paying that off this year. So that's another debt off our books. Travel and training, the
You're
board,
talking about the whole principal and,
Yes.
interest and principal?
yes, that
Wow.
will be, yeah, that's our Texas Leverage Fund through the governor's office. We use that to buy the property in the Vogel Business Park on Melissa Street.
So is that fund like open-ended, or you gotta reapply again?
You have to reapply,
Okay.
so we're eligible to reapply in September, and we may do that based on upcoming projects and goals and things of that nature.
Perfect, yeah.
Travel and training, the board did want to continue attending ICSC. We also included Retail Live, which is fairly new to us. It's held like in the Austin area, but it is Texas specific. So every developer that invests only in Texas will be there. It's a 1-day trade show. IAAPA, that is another trade show. It specifically targets entertainment destinations. So think Main Event, Top Golf, things of that nature. So the board really felt that's what's lacking in our community. So we're going to go and shop for it.
Melissa, the year prior, I guess, I don't know, the middle, you have 5,000 budgeted and 10,000 budgeted. So I think it's great that we're going places because we need to be, but I'm just wondering, is that really all we were spending on all these things in the past, or?
That's just the budget. We did have like a conservative budget.
Okay,
Really, I think what we spent last year was closer to 14,000 total.
uh-huh,
Because the board was on the fence about even attending some of the trade shows, like the Las Vegas one and even the Dallas one. So that was kind of, I put a number there, but we increased it.
so is that for more people to go or more places to go?
No, it was just not more people to go. They weren't sure if they wanted to go, but they just want to hold some funds
Hold
just
some
in
funds
case.
for that, okay. All right,
Typically, it's myself and 2 board members, and that's it. So not too many board members attend.
thank you.
The water bill went up slightly. Office equipment, we will be upgrading that, so our conference room will be enhanced. Maintenance, so that's a significant increase because we did put redoing the boots that are out there, both as of Mercedes. The 6-foot boots that we have out in the community, we're going to either repaint them or wrap them.
Can I make a suggestion on that? Have you guys ever considered promoting the boots maybe in the hotels near the outlet and the outlet itself? Specifically the ones pertaining to like Monterrey Tech, Monterrey Tigres, things like that. Because I know that right now it's hard to bring in traffic from along the highway into the town. And I know that that was the idea behind the booths, so maybe we can try to
could
use some sort of way to
geofence,
promote
maybe.
it. Well, I would think it'd be nice. It'd be a nice touch, and maybe, I don't know, give it the outlet, see if they would, put the pictures up, maybe put a little map on where they can find it. I think it'd be a nice little touch to bring in people that are staying at the hotels for the weekend of shopping to come into Mercedes and check out the booth.
It's been a long time. So when we put up those booths, did we buy the booths or were they sponsored by?
We bought the majority of them. Rios of Mercedes purchased their own, and Texas National Bank purchased their
That's what I
own,
thought, yeah.
and so did Magic Valley.
And Coach's Pharmacy, did they purchase their own? Because they have the Mercedes.
Yeah, they have. I think they purchased their own as well because theirs was unique. Yeah, theirs was the only
So
Mercedes.
they
The
have
rest
a
of them
tiger
we
boot?
bought.
You have a tiger boot or what? Because I was
Yes.
gonna say, let's put a tiger boot.
Mercedes Tech.
Texas A&M one, you better.
Yeah, there you go. Can we make it a little taller
A&M.
than the UT? one?
Taller.
I just, I'm thinking for him.
Rein him in, Mayor, rein him in.
Okay, let's see. Office supplies, there's a little increase there. And furniture and fixtures, we don't plan on purchasing anything, but just in case something breaks.
What was the total increase for this year's budget? Final.
We actually went down a little bit from last year, about 100,000, so it is a balanced budget. Do you want to go over any of the marketing initiatives? I do have, everything in yellow, the city has already, I guess, discussed.
Is there
or-
anything you want to highlight that you think would be good for us and the people to know?
No, we mentioned the 2 things, the murals and influencers. And next fiscal year, the EDC is investing an additional $100,000 in marketing initiatives, just getting the word out there.
Is that international or just locally or?
International, locally, statewide. Developers, people who visit the community, different types of audiences.
That's a lot of yellow.
Yes.
Well,
That's covered by the city.
it seems like the biggest change in your budget is accounted for by
That's our part.
the disparity and the carryover, because I guess,
The carryover,
yeah,
yes. So
and
we'll be
if it weren't for
carryover.
that, your budget would be going up, but,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
that's what,
But there's gonna be a lot of clearance this coming year, right? 2025, you think?
Correct.
Christmas
But
parade is getting 4.
But also, we will be eliminating a lot of debt. So even though we will be spending about $1 million in projects, for the following fiscal year, we would have eliminated about
It's close to 600. yeah.
$600,000 worth of debt.
Well,
So
so I have a question to ask you. So the movies at the park and the Christmas parade, all this stuff, is that still going to take place at the Civic Center? Or are we looking at different locations for stuff like that?
that's a chamber question, and I think that there's been discussions in moving everything I don't know, to the Civic Center Park, but there was also discussion about moving it downtown, so I'm not too sure.
Yeah, there's kind of a, trying to entertain relocating, but we haven't found a place to set it up.
Well, the reason why I was asking is because you were talking earlier, the parade and the Christmas parade and the movies at the park and
Oh,
things like
okay.
that. Because now that we're using the amphitheater a little bit more, you were talking about facades earlier. Somebody was asked, or several people had asked me about, would the city, EDC, or anybody else entertain maybe putting some form of mural or some sort of facade off of the city, the Civic Center itself, since it is, facing towards
The-
the main
the
roadways and
stage
stuff
or
like
the-
that. No,
or
we're
the
talking
Civic
about the
Center?
building itself.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Due to the fact that, there's a lot of history, Mercedes, things like that. We use it for different events. And it was just, it's been white forever. You just paint it white. So they were asking, would we ever consider painting some form of mural off of the building? Since that is one
If,
of the
I
main
mean, if
corridors.
the
for
city would allow
Mercedes.
that. I
I
don't see
mean,
why
I'm just
not.
thinking there out loud, like,
Good idea.
We have a rich culture and music, you know. we
Yeah,
got
man.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I know, and that's how it came to be because some people, recall Gilberto Perez, those type of people, something that we can just pay homage to the city itself.
Great
As a
idea.
way.
I think that's a fantastic idea.
I think it would really like help that building stand out, and it's a nice touch. I mean, we're invested in that areas. Sonic is there. It'd be a nice little touch to see at night.
I like it.
Tiger Crossing guy. Now you know what to spend it on, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just an
Kevin.
idea to consider.
Awesome. All right. What else you got?
Are there any other questions? This is just a draft budget, so I'll come to you next month to finalize our budget. There's still some moving pieces. We still have to finalize some programming and a few other expenditures, but this is kind of as close as it's gonna get
Yes, ma'am.
to see.
I appreciate your time and your attention to detail, making it easy for us to know what's happening and what's changing.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
And thank you the board for all their efforts. Moving on to consent agenda, we have items 7A and 7B.
We're gonna make a motion to approve items 7A and items 7B, forego the second and final reading of ordinance 2024-08.
One second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Martinez, second by Commissioner Garcia. Any discussion?
I don't know if it's a
Which one?
question or on the minutes of the agenda, there was and I'm not saying the minutes do not reflect what we did. I guess I'm more asking about clarification, but last meeting or one of those meetings that we got those minutes for, we went out on an RFQ for the roof repairs, and we got one vendor.
Yes.
And as I was reading the minutes, it seemed as though that vendor was identified to do the work, or are we still gonna go out for an RFP?
We're restarting, not restarting completely. The specifications are ready. All we need is the scoring sheet that was being put together by the engineer today, so we'll be going out tomorrow.
Okay.
Why? Because what we were doing at that time was qualifications.
Okay,
We're gonna go out for competitive bids.
Okay.
I think we've touched on it before, on all, work that we had outstanding, that we had planned to do or whatever. We wanna make sure we start with a clean slate and that we do it competitively. So
okay,
expect those coming to you. We're gonna post them. Once offers come in, we're gonna bring them to you.
okay, thank you.
So, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I allowed that to go on because we needed to clear it up. But just to be clear for anybody about the motion in a second, your question was more clarification for yourself,
Right.
not on the item that was entered on the
Correct.
meeting. Okay.
Correct.
All right, moving on to item 8, management items, request for funding from VITA for FY 24-25. Welcome back, ma'am.
Thank you, Mayor and Board, for having me here this evening. For those who don't know me, my name is Irma Garcia. I am the Program Officer for VITA. First, I would like to thank the City of Mercedes for the continued support in education, but most of all, in our organization and in your residents. For those who are not familiar with VITA, for nearly 30 years, VIDA has provided students with the necessary resources and tools for education success. Our career counselors provide academic guidance and individualized counseling to help students overcome the barriers and challenges such as financial struggles, family responsibilities, life stressors, and time management. VIDA counselors also work closely with students on soft skills such as training, including resume building, employment services, interview preparation, financial planning, and also effective studying skills. With your contribution, VIDA is able to provide students with financial assistance for tuition, textbooks, uniforms, transportation, tools for their career path. Inside your packet, you will see a one-page summary. As of June 20th of this year, the average salary reported of Mercedes graduates receiving our services was $57,200. You may also note that the benchmark for this year was to serve 5 Mercedes residents. However, because we are able to braid your investment with other funding sources, we have already surpassed the benchmark and have served 7 Mercedes residents.
Awesome.
A recent economic impact study conducted by UTRGV reported that for every dollar that is invested into our program, you receive a return of investment of $15.69. Your contribution is not a handout. It is an investment in human capital to ensure that the city of Mercedes has the skilled workforce necessary for tomorrow's industry needs. I have with me one of your residents, a Mercedes graduate, and she has something to report to you on.
That's right.
Veronica Vega, I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Veronica.
Hello, everybody. Bear with me because I've never done anything like this.
We're all ears.
Oh, yay. Okay, so I worked hard on this, okay? Maria Vega is the name of the woman that raised me, fed me, tucked me in bed, fought the monsters under my bed. She was the one that stayed up all night when I was sick and sacrificed her wants and needs to make sure I was okay. When I stand up here today, I can't help but remember the struggles we've endured. Not one, but 2 house fires, losing everything and having to rebuild our lives from the ground up. Sorry.
It's okay.
Hoping and praying for a better tomorrow. Keeping our eyes on Jesus and watching how he opened doors. Keeping a strong faith and struggling to move forward inch by inch. Believe me when I say I never thought I would be standing here today, a college graduate. But by the grace of God, and because of the great example that I have the privilege of calling mom, here I am. One of the biggest obstacles on this journey was, and always has been, finances. Rebuilding our lives after every tragedy was far from easy, but we've been through it all, from going to sleep hungry and penny pinching at the grocery store. It's been a wild ride. A ride that seems to be slowing down, a ride that seems to be taking a turn for the better. This turn would not have happened without VIDA, and I am grateful for this organization. I am grateful for the support, help, encouragement, funds, and now the opportunity to represent such a great organization. I am so grateful that God provided finances for me through VIDA, but we know VIDA would not be able to do this without you. Thank you to the City of Mercedes for partnering with VIDA to help fund young people's dreams to become a reality. I'm so grateful that I can now say I'm a registered nurse at McAllen Heart Hospital because of your continued support.
And you're gonna build a house in Mercedes.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. I love Mercedes. So, lastly, well, hold on, I lost my train. I now have the honor of taking care of my mom the way she did for me. Lastly, a big thank you to my counselor, San Juanita Sanchez, who mentored me and always encouraged me never to give up during our weekly group sessions. Your kindness impacted my life in more ways than you will ever know. I truly believe the Lord placed you in my life at the right time. Thank you once again to the city of Mercedes for partnering with Vida and making my dreams come true. Be blessed.
Awesome.
Mayor, make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Motion and 5 seconds.
I mean, it's a no-brainer, man. I mean, you know.
I just want to say a few words.
Let me finish the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Go ahead, Doc.
All right.
One, I volunteer a lot with Vida and Mr. Ramos, get some GED information out there. I know he does a lot with the technical stuff, the construction stuff, the welding and
trades.
plumbing and the trades. So Vida does a wonderful job. That's a true testament
Amen.
of this community. And when you guys, the benchmark was 5, I was kind of doing the math, and I don't know where we're gonna have to fight tooth or nail with these guys. And I was gonna say, well, it's like, do the math, it's about 5,000. That's pretty good for getting a some type of education, college education. But now you're saying that the benchmark even raised, you guys are getting about 7, so it's about 3.5. I mean, that's a affordable tuition with the great impact that you guys are having in the community and in the area and in the region. Right, we're saying we're trying to fight to serve as a region. So amazing job, and I'm I almost wanted to cry, but great story and great testimony.
I did a lot. So, well, I don't have anything eloquent like Doc to say, but except that I would like to take a picture with you, if that's okay.
Eric, can I just say something right quick? I just wanted to say, how many people do you guys serve outside of Mercedes? Is it a good amount of students?
Yes, right now we have, for this fiscal year, we are close to 700 students valley-wide.
Valley-wide?
Valley-wide.
And this area right here, Mercedes Service, is the Mid-Valley area, or?
The Mid-Valley, yes.
Okay. The reason why I bring all that up is because if anybody's asking, or if anybody questions why we're giving, money away, maybe in their eyes, your story was spot on. It hurts to say you have to pick groceries. I know that feeling, but for you to have gone that far and be a nurse, that's amazing. And now you're coming back to your community and you're giving back. So why would we not want to invest in the improvement of the quality of life? I think that you're a very brave person for sharing that. I know what that struggle's like, so I commend you for it. And I just wanted that to be noted because I know people tend to get a little rough and mean out there, but they need to understand that at the end of the day, we're investing in people, we're investing in young people, because when we're all gone, they're taking over. So bravo to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, buddy.
Their headquarters is here in the city of
That's right.
Mercedes. I mean,
Does anybody else want to take a picture?
let's do it.
Our RN.
Privilege.
That means it right.
No, I cried. You know how many times I cried up here?
Mayor.
Yeah, come on in. Can we get, so we want to put this up on our Facebook? And tell everybody she's on the market.
Sure.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Paying it forward. It's yours. Yes.
Tell Billy I said hi.
Hey, that's good stuff.
All right.
Library board.
Some good news for
Yeah, there you
something
go.
we do. All right. God bless you guys. We'll see y'all. Keep the faith in God. That was very proud about that.
Amen.
All right, approval to appoint members of to the library board?
Yes, we had 3 members whose terms had, I guess, ended in June. Ms. Joan Jensen, Ms. Dalia Saldana, and Roy De Leon. All of them are willing to continue to serve, but in speaking with Mr. De Leon, he also said that if anybody new had applied, he was willing to step down and give him an opportunity to serve on the board. And we did have one applicant, Ms. Chantel Garay. She was raised in Mercedes. Right now, she is living in Westaco, but she did apply, and she applied to be on many boards. So I guess she just, when I spoke to her, she said she just wants to give back, have an opportunity to volunteer.
And Roy said he didn't want to be on there anymore? If
He
somebody
said he
else-
was willing to
Step down if somebody
step
else
down to
applies.
give someone else a chance.
Roy De Leon said that he's willing to step down on the library board if somebody new came on board. And he didn't visit with you about it? or
No,
anything?
no.
All right, well, I mean, what's the will of the
Make a
board?
motion to approve the recommendation of the library board members. Do you need names or?
I mean, I know I asked for Joan Jensen and Dallas Saldana, and then I asked for Ms. Garay to give the opportunity since Mr. De Leon said that. I think Mr. De Leon is thinking about joining our Friends of the Library.
Okay.
Oh, awesome.
I'll make
Mr.
the
Mayor, I'm
motion.
gonna abstain because I've got one
Oh, that's,
person on.
is that Mrs. Saldana?
Abstain for the vote. I know it could be a very controversial vote.
I'll make a motion to approve the recommendations by Ms. Vidal.
Which is the 2 and the new person.
2 and the new person. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Second by Commissioner Garcia. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And please tell Mr. De Leon this was not arbitrary. We thank him for that opportunity for somebody new, and we would welcome him on a new committee.
Don't go too far,
Historical-
Marisol. You're next.
Historical board, is that you also here? Or there's someone else? Oh, okay.
What, is that for the approval resolution? Oh, yeah.
All right, item number 9, ordinance and resolution approval of resolution 2024-2025. Establish a fund account for the Mercedes Historical Preservation Commission fundraising.
Good evening, Mayor, Commission. So I'm here tonight to ask for approval to add a new bank account. Marisol and her, some of the members for the historical committee, they want to raise funds to help residents do some new.
Or do application for historical surveys of the area or things like that.
Mhm.
Victoria Eshe rate.
So right now we have a check of $2,000, but they want to use that money continuously. They're going to continue to raise funds to it. So I recommend it, and through the auditor's recommendation, that we can open a new account. So that will be the accounting of it. It will be easier to have.
Mayor,
Mayor,
make a motion to
honorable-
approve. Oh, sorry.
Mayor, honorable commission, I make a motion to approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Martinez, second by Commissioner Howell.
Discussion, Mayor?
Dr. Howell, discussion.
Yeah, so just so we're clear, this particular account is gonna be used for
Only
just
for the
the
historical.
fundraising.
Yes, for the fundraiser stuff and whatever they decide to spend it on.
This is external from the city accounts?
No. This is gonna be part of the city because we're gonna manage that account. We're gonna.
It's just a
account-
separate fund?
It's a separate
Is
fund.
this designated just for that?
Yes,
And now-
only for that.
Now, my other question would be, anything that you guys decide to do, for whatever reason, I'm sure they'll be good, you guys will bring it to the board, to the commission, just to let us know?
It would depend on the amount.
Yes. Mhm. Usually
I think
anything.
it would, I would think most of them are gonna be slightly larger quantities, so we would have to come.
We could do it via reports.
Yeah, we can do a report
you know where it's
every
going.
single month.
Yeah,
So, I think just to be clear,
Side note.
nothing's changing of how they operate. In order for a city or a county to get funds donated, it must go through the city process exactly for that.
Correct.
So like at the county, we have the same thing, or we have to create our own 501c3. This is just easier, cleaner.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a motion to approve. I'm sorry, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And by the way, ma'am, good job. You're a veteran up here on the mic. Yeah, man, you're not the same nervous.
Well,
Yeah.
I gotta say that I've been taking a pre-workout before I get here, so I'm really excited.
When you get a chance,
Hey, I like that.
text me the brand name.
Add a sense of humor to it all too, huh?
Some weight room.
Well, it's working for you. All right, approval of grant reimbursement for historically designated property located 402 South Texas.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve.
I have a
the grant
motion by
reimbursement.
Commissioner Martinez. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Garcia. Discussion. Go ahead,
I
Commissioner.
just want to be clear, and we always have these because sometimes people don't get the information correct. But again, Mr. Cooper spent $22,000 of his own money, and as part of the rules that you guys have set up, he will only be compensated $10,000 for the roof. Correct?
Correct, yes, and that is out of hotel motel tax.
I just think it's important for us to notate that this isn't just free money that's given. It's money that has to be spent by the owner, and at that, it's not at 100% reimbursement. So
Correct.
Which building
wanted
is
to
this?
clear-
A Family Dollar.
Family Dollar.
Family Dollar, yeah.
And then the second thing I would add, Mr. Commissioner Martinez, would be, I guess,
Dr. Joe.
the laws and procedures. It was very decisive of how he did that. You guys looked over the rules and everything, right?
Right, yes, they always
And I
have
know
to-
it probably did, but I'm just saying, just for clarity, because, Mr. Martinez here, we
Yes, so they always have to apply, they have to fill out the application. They now have to do a certificate of appropriateness, so they have to tell us what it is they're gonna do, how they're gonna do it. They have to give us 3 quotes, they have to give us the deed to the property to make sure that it's their property.
So everything was done right.
Everything was done right,
Checked
yes,
off. Okay, just-
yes.
And
before
thank you for
after
explaining
photos.
it for the 22nd time. Every time there's somebody else, we have to explain it again.
That's why I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because it gets out there,
Oh, yeah,
Mayor,
it
and you know-
does. Yeah, no, I'm with you. You just, what do they call them? Facebook cowboys? All right. Bids and, yeah, thank you very much. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Bids and contract approval of the interlocal agreement for police services between City of Mercedes and Mercedes ISD.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Howell.
Second, Mayor.
Second, Commissioner Martinez. You want to give us a little bit of scoop? What you got? Maybe, did you increase, decrease officers, anything like that?
No, the personnel amount stayed the same.
Which is?
All
How many?
five.
Five?
All we went ahead and met with the superintendent and the safe schools coordinator is that we enhanced the amount maybe a little bit, just proposing that everything goes good for a potential raise, if anything, and if not, we would go back and fix that number. But we kind of included it because they need it already to start like their funding, their monies, or whatever they have to do to approve. So that's why we went ahead and.
So you're
and that's
requesting
the only
raises
change.
or what?
You expecting a raise?
So you're requesting raises?
This is for your resource.
Well,
officers
with,
or-
for the in general, since if we go, you get it, so they need the numbers.
I'm
Chief,
just joking.
I guess not.
I got a question, Chief.
Yes, sir.
I noticed that you guys have been out there kind of helping out with traffic lately, so
Yes.
that's good. But I posed a question about a month and a half ago. I'm just trying to make sure, do we have resource officers at every elementary school? I believe that's required now, is that correct?
So they're mobile. They do have an armed guard as required by state there at every campus. Our EROs primarily are one at the high school, one at each middle school, and then the other 2 rotate in between the elementary schools.
And just to be clear, the requirements on the school.
Yeah, so it's in the
On the
school.
school,
Yeah.
on the school.
There's
Yeah.
armed
So,
guards.
so they can pick, I'm sorry, they can pick either or,
Yes.
right?
Yes, they can
Okay.
pick either one.
Because I noticed like
They'll be armed.
Travis is putting up a fence and stuff like that, so I know they're taking that precautionary measure. I'm just making sure that we're not dropping the ball in that area. I want to make sure that
I know.
our kids are safe.
Yeah, they're rotating as they go, and at times I use patrol to interact in between. Regarding the traffic, we've been doing it every morning, and we're trying to train the crossing guards too. I know one of the lieutenants said that he would go out there in the mornings, and he has been kind of showing the crossing guards how to cross the kids properly because we done this the first day of school. They were struggling a little bit with that, so yeah, we're going to continue to be out there for sure. in the
Well,
morning.
I got some good feedback for you. Everybody keeps telling me, "Oh, hey, you guys are never on Rio Rico," and now I got to slow down. So that's a good thing. So thank you for
Yeah.
that.
Especially
They've been
those
enforcing
always
a
a
lot of
problem
that
with
since
teachers.
we live-
Yeah,
They've been
that was always a
enforcing a lot of
problematic
that.
area, man, you know, right there in front of the whole Triple H, so.
Yeah, they've been
Thank you for
enforcing a
that.
lot of traffic there for
Yeah.
sure.
There was something in the contract there that said that there's reimbursement for fuel and for other kinds of incidental
Yes,
stuff.
sir.
Is that in addition to the contract, or is that within the
Yeah,
contract?
we go ahead
Part
and
of the
invoice them
contract.
because it just depends on how much they
Okay,
use.
so that's above and beyond the
Yeah,
contract
because
price.
we don't always predicted to what trips they have. At times,
Right,
they
right,
request for
right.
us to follow them to San Antonio and to other areas. I mean, so it's just, yeah.
Which we never turn them down, but
Yeah,
it
so
would
at
impact
the
our
end-
fuel budget.
Right, right.
Sure.
Well, it's a great partnership and it's been working great. I've just never, I heard one critical thing about that, and the officers assigned to those schools do a great job, and they have great rapport with the kids, and I don't know where I heard it, but the incidences of issues with kids, with juveniles having to be taken in dropped dramatically, which tells you that
Yeah.
that they're, and you probably told me that, I don't know, but they're having less trouble with
Yeah.
kids that require them to
Right.
it's staying in house, they're behaving themselves a little better and so forth. So it's that kind of partnership can lead to a lot of other partnerships too. That's kind of the bigger picture I'm looking at as well.
I think primarily what helps is the substation that they get to meet even with the parent and the student there at campus. Not just so much here at the PD, you know, but there, because we're not trying to make criminals out of juveniles, but we're just
Right.
trying to reintegrate them to, you know, succeed in the education part.
Sure.
But yeah.
Good job, chief.
I was at the community pep rally last week, and I know that one of the Coach Arame, you know, recognized Officer Bocanegra for all his hard work and dedication. So I do know that you know, he was recognized there. So congratulations to him, because obviously he's making an impact, you know, with the teachers, the students.
Yeah,
So-
for sure.
Problem with him, he better not retire. You're gonna
You
have.
better not
everybody-
become a coach. You better not be a coach. For sure.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Moving on to monthly reports, rec center, planning, city, secretary, library, public works, finance, fire department, and police department. It's like the only two bold guys are.
Commissioner Saldana, we're waiting for questions.
Yeah, we're waiting.
My first question is a three-part question. No, I just have general comments to make. The reports are getting
Better.
a lot better, and the better they get, the less questions I have, Mr. Pettis.
Awesome.
You know, the PD put together a really nice summary of stuff that they're doing, because, you know, not that I don't want to know how many people committed burglary during the month of July or anything like that. I mean, it's nice to see those kind of patterns, but, you know, the National Night Out work, some of the other stuff that's kind of behind the scenes is really good to know about, and we all know it, but for all, you know, for anybody that would be interested, it really, I think, to the credit of the PD, helps to communicate that our police department is not just running around giving people tickets or hassling someone that's crossing the street in the wrong place or whatever. I mean, that they're investing a huge amount of time in proactive sort of strategies to improve public safety in our community. And then the planning department did a great job. I mean, those the summaries of all the things that are, I mean, you just know kind of the progress month by month of what's going on, what's coming around the bend, and what the status of different developments is, how many permits are being pulled and all that. That's great. I see you looking at your watch, Mr. Mayor. I'll hurry.
Your 3 minutes are up.
There you go. My 3 minutes are up, and I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But I guess those were the things, and our finance reports look real good. I enjoy reading that. I like seeing what's going on in the departments. The library, of course, is consistently always do a good job with theirs. And if you're doing your reports great, it inspires confidence that the rest of the things that you're doing is great. Mr. Villagomez, your summary of some of the things going on with Public Works. You did a really, really good job with that too. And not that I don't appreciate 42 pages of Excel spreadsheets, but I think that the little summary of some of the works, and for some of us guys, pictures are really important. Not that we don't like to read, but picture tells 1,000 words, and it kind of helps add a little bit of I guess of an understanding of the things that are keeping y'all busy. So that's all I had. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You. I have a question on the, now the last time we addressed this, I don't know, I believe it was Jocelyn that answered it, but I think it's IT related. Earlier it was brought up about about our website and having the minutes up.
Yes.
I thought we had taken care of that
No.
some
Well,
time back.
the only thing I can think of, and because I brought that question up before, but I know the minutes are embedded within the agendas that we have. So if you look at an agenda, you're going to find the minutes of prior meetings. Now, I don't know if that's sufficient or not, but if anybody's looking for minutes, that's one way you could find them.
So I guess the easiest thing, if somebody's looking for minutes, we can redirect them. Is there anybody here that can answer that? I don't know if anybody, of IT or Jocelyn, have you heard, do you know anything about?
Jocelyn knows where she holds the minutes.
Yeah, I think last time that's what came to be. So even if, as you walk up, Jocelyn, even if what Dr. Saldana, well, first of all, go ahead. You see if you can answer. Do you know what the question is? On the minutes?
Where are the minutes?
They're asking for the minutes on our site. We still haven't put them up. Dr. Danya feels like they're embedded inside of the,
They're in the packet.
so what we could do, if it's already on there,
But that may
we
not
can
be-
put something that if you press on it, it'll take you to the minutes.
link 'em.
Like a link.
Well, that's what they're asking, because the way the table is set up is I have a column for agenda packets, and then I have a column for minutes. The column for minutes is not populated. It's in the packet. What I need to do is
Separate 'em.
separate
Oh, that's
them
right.
to include them in.
Or have them in
the-
both places,
Mhm. There is a program, I don't know if I can.
I knew where she's going.
It's everything, hey, money, man. It's no big deal.
There's always.
That's
a problem.
actually kudos to her. She's looking at a program that will simplify the layout, and so you can find stuff a lot.
How much are we talking about?
10,000.
Okay, let's put it on the next
What else
agenda
does it
item,
do?
please.
It does a
There's
lot.
why we don't go anywhere. Gotta get rid of the codo, man. Jeez.
And with that program, it'd be easier because it could help me type my minutes as it's going, and the commission could vote, and
What-
it'll populate like the votes on my minutes, and then I can, after the meeting, I could publish it directly to the website.
How much is the one we're using right now?
We don't
Nothing.
We're gonna have
I have to do them.
Somebody-
I'm all for
Somebody
a
figured it out.
Help me streamline the.
There's not an issue with
The function
supporting
of
it. It's just the
city.
timing. When she's bringing it up, we already went through the budget.
Yeah.
Okay, now, the other thing, the second part was there's an
See.
idea out there that we're gonna migrate from the application that we have for work orders, which is where she's gonna land. And if we're gonna go away from that, I hate to see her stay behind just for that purpose with that company. But there's a
So there's-
second idea out there that we might not need to leave, C-Click or
Civic Plus.
Civic Plus. We decide as a team that we're gonna stay with Civic Plus. Her idea will fall in place.
Okay. Or we move to something else
Yes.
and.
Has
they come-
IT
Yes.
has IT took a look at it? Maybe there's a way to streamline it.
We were
IT?
supposed to meet with IT today, but we didn't get a
We'll
chance.
see.
Well,
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I think on the IT side, the issue is, yeah, and I'm gonna go on a limb here. The answer is IT's provided the venue. The venue means somebody's gotta do it twice.
Yeah.
That's the venue currently. And I think at a time where we're obviously got a lot of stuff going on, maybe we look at something that makes it easier. But if you guys are on board with it,
We're
I'm in
working on
support
it,
of it
sir.
now.
And
We've been putting it off
it's
for
also
years.
important to say that our meetings are
On YouTube.
are televised, they're recorded on YouTube, and as far as I know, that satisfies the legal requirement
Yes, for minutes.
for minutes as well. So now, there's nothing wrong with having it in multiple places, though, in an abundance of caution.
Okey dokey.
I can link the YouTube video to the minute.
Well,
Maybe that'd be.
I would
easier.
separate them from the package
Okay.
as
Then
the
they would
first
still
step.
ask you to email you the links.
Yeah, I think that's, yeah, what I was gonna say, I think for right now, I think the idea of making it easier on you is great, and I think it's worth every penny. But for the meanwhile, if we can create a link that takes them to item number, whatever, I think that'll go a long way, so. Okay, thank you for coming up here. ad
Thank you, ma'am.
hoc. Yes, anybody else? Okay. Item 12, executive session. I'd like to entertain a motion to go into executive session to discuss
Motion,
item
Mayor.
A, B, C, and D. I have a motion by Commissioner Martinez. I have a second. Second by Commissioner Garcia. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries at 7:55 PM, and we're in executive session.
No, done.
All right, it's 9:09, and this meeting is called back into open session. I believe we have no action on item A, B, C, and D. So moving on to item 14, adjournment. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion, Mayor?
Motion by Commissioner Martinez, second by Dr. Saldana. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, same sign. Motion carries, 9:09 PM, and we are adjourned.
God bless Mercedes.
Go
Tigers.
Tigers.
Tigers. What happened to go?